Welcome back. The week ahead continues. Let's take a look at some court action happening. In fact, seeing the bail application of 3 people accused of 9 murders and insurance fraud. They're expected to resume on Wednesday at the Polokwane Magistrate's Court in Limpopo. SAPS member Sergeant Rachel Kutumela, her sister Anna Shokane and daughter Flora Shokane, they're all accused of having links to the death of 9 people and then claiming millions of rands from insurance afterwards. So it's a developing story we're monitoring. For more on this case, let's bring in SABC News reporter Pimani Baloy. Pimani, good afternoon. Perhaps as we look ahead to speak, for context's sake, talk to us a little bit, give us a recap rather on Sergeant Rachel Kutumela, co-accused as well. Really, what's transpired so far in the court proceedings?
Good afternoon, Liesl, and good afternoon to our viewers. Liesl, this has been a case that we've been monitoring since October last year when the 3 were arrested. We know the first to be arrested was Sergeant Rachel Kutumela at her workplace at the Sinwaba station one morning, where she was literally ambushed by her colleagues, led by Captain Keshimabunda, who is the investigating officer at the time. During the arrest, we were told that there were civilians that were linked to the sergeant who were killed and insurance claims were made. It's been over 8 months and we've been going to court, and the 3 have been applying for bail. The first one was Sergeant Kutumela, who took that witness and applied for bail. And in her testimony, she confirmed some of the information that police had that led to her arrest, confirming that she had insurance policies on some of the deceased, confirming that in some of the policies there were fraudulent information, including that she was the spouse of some of the people when she wasn't the spouse of them, but also confirming that she grew up poor. As one of the first people to get formal employment in her family, she felt it was a duty to take out policies on her relatives, her uncles, her cousins, and everyone, stating that she felt because she had seen her father receive a funeral service that she felt was indecent. She's also seen her grandparents also receiving funerals that she wasn't happy with. She decided that she would ensure that everyone in her family, whenever they passed on, they would get proper funerals. But this seemed to extend to civilians in and around her, some through her life, most of whom, according to the state, were vulnerable, people who lived with mental and physical disabilities. And the other information that came out of court was that whenever this would go missing and later be found, she would be part of team police officers who would respond to the incident, even if the scene happened outside a jurisdiction. So these are some of the information that we got. But we also got testimony from Sergeant Kutumela's sister, whom we find out is a nurse, ICU nurse by profession. There's about 3 charges of murder linked to her, and all of these 3 were to be her spouses, and also she did get money, confirming that when she received payouts, she would transfer some of the funds to the sergeant or the daughter of the sergeant. So the state right now, on Wednesday, we expect the state to continue wrapping its case. We know that the investigating officer, Captain Keshimabunda, was testifying, and he had a bereavement previously, so he was given time to deal with that bereavement. So on Wednesday and Thursday, we expect Captain Keshimabunda to continue testifying, just giving us details around the state's case. We do know that they say there were about claims of about 10 million rand, some of which that were declined, some were given to the 3 accused, and we expect the state to just wrap up its case, and we will have closing arguments from both the 3 accused and the state.
Pimani, thank you for really talking to all of those dynamics and even what we can expect for this coming Wednesday. You even touched on the relations between the accused and the deceased, and if we're going to quantify the losses, perhaps you could Rate, just how much in total they've claimed rather. And Sergeant Kutumela, at this point, is she still employed by SAPS? What's the position from SAPS on as this case unfolds?
During her last court appearance, Sergeant Kutumela stated that after her arrest, she tendered her resignation, and the SAPS actually accepted that resignation. So as she stands, she states she's no longer a member of the South African Police Services. But Lizel, touching on the relationships between the accused and the deceased, but also the accused with each other, there are two elements that are very important. The first person that we were always told was Sergeant Kutumela's first victim. She always maintained, even when she applied for bail, that he is a former lover who is the father of her firstborn child, who's also a co-accused. But his family, as we were doing the story, has always denied this, stating that they were unaware that there was a relationship between the pair and that the daughter was the deceased child. So that's what the family was saying. But additionally, during the last court appearance, when Captain Mabunda was testifying, we also learned that there are question marks around the relationship between Sergeant Kutumela and a co-accused who is said to be a firstborn daughter. Because according to the police, the birth certificate of Miss Flora Shokane shows that she is not the daughter of Miss Sergeant Rachel Kutumela, stating that she's registered to be the Sergeant Rachel Kutumela's mother's child. So there are also questions around that, with the sergeant stating that at the time she was unable to register the child, but she confirmed that this is her child. So in terms of the amount of money that was lost in claims, there are claims that we know they submitted and insurance companies questioned. This is what led to, we understand, Captain Mabunda starting his investigation, because the companies were declining claims, stating that it seems there was fraud somewhere with voices, like the people who would take out policies taken by Sergeant Kutumela should be the main beneficiary. Her account number would be the one linked to that, while there was no relationship to the said person whose life was insured. So according to the police, the entire amount is 10 million rand, but it appears some of this money they probably got, but others were insurance policies that were declined. But we know in the policies that they did get the money, they were transferring funds to each other, and it happened with all three of them. If it was Sergeant Rachel Kutumela as the beneficiary, certain portions of that money would be sent to her two co-accused. If it was the other way, it would also go that way. They would purchase vehicles, they would purchase property throughout their lives with this claim. So the state is expected to complete wrapping up, where we might get a summation of just how many claims actually went through and how much money was paid out to them out of this entire 10 million rand. And Lizel, the other important information is that there are actually 9 lives that were lost, 6 of which are charged to the sergeant and the 3 others to a co-accused.
Look, there are so many dynamics, obviously, in relation to this court case. That bail application set to be heard this coming Wednesday, of course, at the Polokwane Magistrate's Court. Again, thank you to Pimani Baloy for weighing in there, giving us context to the case, and obviously, what we can expect in terms of, the merits of the case, given what has transpired with the 3 accused of 9 murders and also insurance fraud.